We're live.
Thank you. Sergeant, with your recording, please. Sergeant Bradley, with your recording, please. PC recording started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's remote New York City Council vote of the Committee on General Welfare. At this time, would all panelists please turn on your video? To minimize disruption, please place electronic devices to vibrate or silent. Thank you for your cooperation. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Thank you very much, Sergeant. Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. Hold on a second, let me get a gavel here. Good afternoon and welcome to the last vote of this session on the City Council's Committee on General Welfare. Today, the committee will consider a bill that I introduced, proposed intro 1358A, aimed at creating transparency around the use of psychiatric medication for youth in foster care, as well as proposed intro 2081A, sponsored by Councilmember Moya, which would enhance the application for and the transparency of the one-shot deal program. Studies have found significantly higher rates of psychiatric medication use for children in foster care than in the general population. News reports have also highlighted disturbing accusations of the use of sedation for children from the Nicholas Scopetta Children's Center when brought to Bellevue for misbehaving. Proposed intro 1358A will shed some light on the use of psychiatric medication by children in ACS's care. The bill would require ACS to submit a report identifying problematic prescribing trends within foster care agencies, including information on how many youths are prescribed a psychiatric medication disaggregated by various categories of medication, such as antidepressant, antipsychotic, anxiolytic, and hypnotic medication, long-acting antipsychotic medication, medication to treat opioid use disorder, and mood stabilizers. ACS would be required to review the report and submit a description of actions it took to promote best practices for use of psychiatric medication for youth in foster care. This holistic approach to medication transparency will let us know if ACS and foster care agencies improperly rely on medications to change children's behaviors and require ACS to create a plan of action to address identified harmful practices. The committee will also vote on proposed intro 2081A, sponsored by Council Member Francisco Moya, to improve the application for and the transparency of the one-shot deal program. The bill would require the commissioner to post information on emergency assistance grants, including rental and utility arrears grants, on the HRA website, and to enhance applications for such grants, including creating an informational sheet for prospective benefit applicants in plain language. The bill would also require DSS to report quarterly on the administration of emergency assistance grants. The bill offers an opportunity to improve client experience and benefit applications and assistance in alleviating some of the hardships faced in navigating city services. Both bills will provide greater transparency to the process of serving children in foster care and clients who are seeking one-shot deals. I'd like to thank the advocates and providers and those with lived experience who informed and helped shape this legislation. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge any of my colleagues who are here today. I want to acknowledge Councilmember Barry Grudenchik, Councilmember Vanessa Gibson, Councilmember Dharma Diaz, Councilmember Inez Barron, Councilmember Brad Lander, Councilmember Carlos Menchaca, Councilmember Rafael Salamanca. I'd also like to thank my staff, Jonathan Boucher, my chief of staff, Elizabeth Adams and Nicole Hunt, my co-legislative directors, Vivek Srikumar, legislative staff, and our amazing committee staff. I just want to take this moment to thank them. From the depths of my heart, they've been an incredible group of people to work with these past 8 years, second to none, incredibly professional, and have really done the work of this committee by and large. And so I just want to thank Aminta Kilawan, our senior counsel, Crystal Pond, senior policy analyst, Natalie Omari, policy analyst, Dan Krupp, financial analyst, and Julia Haramis, financial analyst, as well as our unit head, Dohini Sampura, at the finance division, deputy director, Regina Pareto Ryan, and our director, Latanya McKinney, as well as I see Jeff Baker is here from the legislative division, and Andrea Vasquez as well. And now I'll turn it over to our committee counsel. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'll turn it over to William Martin, I believe, if William is here, committee clerk to call, Jonathan Ettrick to call the roll.
Good afternoon, and this is the Committee on General Welfare roll call vote on proposed intros in 1358A and 2081A. We'll start with Chair Levin.
I vote aye on all.
Councilmember Lander.
With more thanks and gratitude to the chair for all his work to drag so much legislation that's urgent across the finish line in these waning days of the term. I proudly vote aye on all.
Thank you. Councilmember Gibson. Councilmember Gibson, please check your audio.
My bad, hold on. Sorry. Permission to explain, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I'll be brief. I'm voting aye on today's agenda, and as this is our last committee hearing of the Committee on General Welfare, I just wanted to join our chair, Steve Levin, in thanking the entire committee of the General Welfare team. Thank you for all of the work. There's no one else I'd rather spend 8 hours with than all of you on all of the hearings that we've had over my time in the city council that I've been here in the 8 years I've served. Thank you, Chair Steve Levin, for all of your leadership, your commitment on behalf of foster youth, runaway and homeless youth, on behalf of so many children and families that have relied upon so many support systems and safety net programs that we have fought relentlessly over these past 8 years. It's been an honor to work with you and walk with you on this journey. I'm especially grateful for your leadership on Fair Futures, and that is groundbreaking and transformative, and we are creating access and opportunity for so many foster youth across the city of New York. So again, thank you, Steve, for your leadership, for your compassion, and definitely getting so many bills to the finish line. It's been an honor to work and serve with you on this committee that I've been on for all 8 years of my time. And with that, again, thank you to the staff and the speaker and everyone at the council. I really appreciate the time that we've shared together. And I vote aye on today's agenda. Happy holidays, my colleagues and staff.
Thank you. Councilmember Grodenchik.
Thank you. I'm not going to ask for permission to explain my vote, but I am going to explain it. I do vote aye, and I do want to thank Chair Levin, following the comments made by Councilmember Gibson and Lander. Steve, it's been an honor to serve with you. I've been with you since I first entered the council 6 years ago, and I especially want to thank you for your work with me on emergency food. I never imagined when I was running for office that would be one of the most important things, if not the most important things that I did here at the council. And we never imagined the pandemic, but when the pandemic hit, the food pantries were there and they were ready in large measure because of the work that you did. And I really want to thank you for being my partner in that, along with the speaker who obviously had a lot to do with that as well. And you have been a voice for the voiceless and a champion for people who will never know you, people that have no idea who Steve Levin is. But I hope that when you lay down at night and you think about your time in the council, you have helped people that will never know what you did. And that, in many ways, is the highest form of helping people. So thank you for your chairmanship. And it has been a true pleasure and an honor to serve with you. in my time in the council. With that, again, Mr. Clark, I vote aye on all, and I do, of course, want to thank all the staff as well, as the chair mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Salamanca.
Yeah, I vote aye on all. Thank you.
Councilmember Dharma Diaz.
I vote aye, and it's definitely been a pleasure to serve with you, Chair Levin.
Thank you. Chair Levin, by a vote of 6 in the affirmative, 0 abstentions, and 0 negatives, both bills are adopted.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ettrick. And just to my colleagues and all of the staff at the council, sergeants at arms, the clerks, and my colleagues, the council members, I just want to express my deep gratitude to you all. This is a committee that is tasked with looking out for the most vulnerable New Yorkers, whose purpose is to make sure that services are equitable in our city, that they're reaching those in greatest need, and that we lift up their priorities as all of our priorities as a city and as a society, and that we don't leave anybody behind, and that no matter who you pray to or what you pray to, that we're all God's children, and we are here to look after one another, and that's been the mission of this committee. I'm sure that will be the mission of the committee under the next council, and there's still a lot more work to be done. But I want to thank all of my colleagues for their conscientiousness, their thoughtfulness, and their decency and compassion as we try to do our best to serve our fellow New Yorkers. And with that, I'll adjourn the committee.
Steve, you've really been just such a tremendous and amazing chair. I mean, the staff with props to them, and all of us are good, but you've really been an extraordinary chair of this committee, and just use this platform to push for New Yorkers who need it so very powerfully and deeply. Thank you.
It means a lot. Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
Second what Mr. Lander said.